And look, good buddy.
Quit on it. Hey guys, welcome to Truck Driver's Corner. Today I'm going to tell you a story about one of the first loads I ever hauled. I had to go to Chicago, and that's not good to send a rookie straight downtown to Chicago. And I don't know why this company didn't send me to Florida, or send me to Texas, or send me to Wyoming, or North Carolina, or somewhere besides Chicago. Chicago, you know, is notorious for their low overpasses and low clearance bridges, viaducts, or whatever. So I was working for a company called RTC, Refrigerated Transport Corporation or Company or something like that, out of Atlanta, Forest Park, Atlanta, somewhere down in there. And I picked up a load of it was a refrigerated outfit, but the load wasn't even a refrigeration. It was a cigarette load. I mean, it was $1 million load, just a trailer full of cigarettes, 30,000 pounds. Off to Chicago I go, and when I got to Joliet, Illinois, I spent the night, and I got up with a local driver. I was scared to death of these low. They told me about all these low overpasses and stuff. So I got with the local driver there in Joliet, Illinois, at the truck stop, and man, they had these hamburgers, and these hamburgers were so big. They were 4 pounds of hamburger. They had a contest there where you could eat the hamburger, and if you ate it, it was free. But I didn't try it. And but that sucker was huge, man. It looked like a steering wheel. Anyway, I got with this guy. He says, yeah, there's one bridge you need to look out for going down to this place where you're going to unload. And he says, now when you going in off of this road, going into this place, you want to go on the opposite side of traffic and slow down real slow if there's no cars coming, and go on that other side and ease up to the bridge and make sure your trailer can go under there, because that's a real low bridge, and it's 13.4, I think it was. And sure enough, as I went in, I made sure no cars were coming, and I pulled out, and I went across traffic, and I eased up to it, and it didn't hit. And I eased through there, and I just went real slow through there, and I got through the bridge, and I went on around the corner where I had to unload. So I unloaded 35,000 pounds of cigarettes, and I had to go find a payphone. I had to go back to the truck stop somewhere and call in, because they didn't have a phone there. They wouldn't let you use the phone, so I had to go back out to the truck stop. So I left there, and I come down to that same bridge, and I was going to be on the right side going out. And I knew that I'd come in and cross traffic into the lane that I was going out. And I said, man, I can make it. I already know my trailer's low enough. And so I came up to that bridge, and I was doing about maybe 15, 20 miles an hour, and bam, I hit that bridge. And I'm thinking, man, what in the world? I already come through this bridge one time on this side. There's no way I could have hit this bridge. And I'll never forget it. Right before I went under that bridge, there was this old man walking with a can, real slow, under the bridge. And there was a sidewalk that went under the bridge alongside the road there. And whenever I hit that bridge, bam! And all that noise and banging and shearing and all that. As soon as I got stopped, I looked around and I seen that old man had hit the dirt, and he had both hands over his head. He thought the bridge was falling. And I said, man, this just ain't no way this has happened to me. I've already come through this bridge. But what I didn't take into account was when I unloaded the 35,000 pounds of cigarettes, that the trailer came up a couple inches. It wasn't weighted down anymore. Well, I was new at that with trucking, and I didn't really understand that concept yet, but that didn't dawn on me, and that's exactly what happened. That accident, how that accident happened, was because the trailer rose up a little bit, being empty and light. And I said, man, I can't stay here. I can't stay here. So I put that truck in reverse and I backed down. And I hopped. Those tires was hopping like that, and it finally come out wedged up under that bridge. I put my flashers on and I backed all the way back up to where I could go over the ramp. Went up the ramp, came back down the other side, which I should have did that anyway. And I got out of there, man. And, I went to Joliet, back to Joliet with my top. It looked like a sardine can, where you open a sardine can with the little tool they give you, and that's what it looked like. And I called in. I said, man, Van, I think his name was Van something. I said, man, I have had some trouble coming out of there. I was good getting in there. I got unloaded and everything. Got my bill signed. When I was coming out, I hit this bridge. My trailer rose up or something. Hit the bridge. He says, you know not. I said, yeah. So he says, all right, did head to Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, and go to the Pepsi-Cola plant. I'll have a load of bicycles for you going to Florida. It's okay. So I did head with that trailer all the way to Louisville, Kentucky. And I got to the Pepsi-Cola plant, and the guard opened the window. You know how you pull up beside the guard shack there, the Century, whatever. And he said, can I help you? I said, yeah, I got to pick up a load of bicycles for RTC going to Florida. He said, okay, come on in. We know what you're talking about. So he opened them electric gates, and I went in there, and I backed in the hole. He told me to drop my trailer. He said, but when you go in, go talk to a guy named Troy. I said, okay. So I backed my truck in, and I went in, I seen a guy named Troy. He says, yeah. You the guy that had the trouble down in Chicago this morning? I said, yeah, that's me. He says, yeah, well, look, I'll tell you, I got some bad news for you. He says, we're going to have to let you go, and I'm going to carry you to the bus station, give you a ride home. And I said, oh, okay, then. I said, look, I got to go to the bathroom, man. I don't feel too good, and I'll just meet you back here in the office. He said, that's fine, go ahead. So, well, when I left that office, I took off down the hallway, and I went out the back door. I dropped that trailer and I pulled up, and I know that you can go back to your home terminal. Wherever you're at in the United States, you got the legal right to go back to your home terminal. I done found that out by law the first time in North America. I worked for North America. But anyway, I got in that truck and I pulled up back up to that electric gate, and I had to go. I was going back to Greensboro. That's where I was based out of, Greensboro. And sure enough, when I pulled up, they looked at me. They mashed the button and the gate opened. And I left out of there, son. And I went all the way back to North Carolina. I had to put $50 in the truck. And after I got about maybe 100 miles down the road, I called in. I said, man, I ain't riding the bus home from Kentucky. It'll take 2 days. I said, I'm just carry your truck back to Greensboro. He said, no, you can't. We done took grand theft charges out on you. I said, what do you mean you take grand theft charges out? I said, I'm supposed to go back to my home terminal. I know that. He says, no, he says, you're wanted now. We're going to arrest you. I said, okay. So I got back in the truck, and I went on back down through the mountains of Virginia. And, I went through Hazard, Kentucky, because I had to get off the interstate. And I went down through Pikeville, and I went through Hazard, Kentucky, where I guess that's where the Dukes of Hazzards. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't know there was a Hazard, Kentucky. But anyway, I did go through Hazard, Kentucky, and I went down through Virginia, down through the mountains in Tennessee, and I finally got into North Carolina. I come out in Boone over there, man. I went through all those mountains on a cab over International. Finally got back to Greensboro, and I called my poor mama up. I said, Mama, I'm in Greensboro. I need a ride. And she says, what do you need a ride for? I said, well, I'm going to go get another job. They didn't going to let me go from this job. And well, what I want you to do, I want you to meet me down here at the restaurant first, and then I'm going to unload my truck into your car, and then when I take the truck back, I'm just going to hop in your car, and we're going to leave. She said, what's going on? I told her what was going on. So, and I had to bill Ladings for 2 loads that I hauled or something like that, or 1 load I hauled. Anyway, and got all my stuff unloaded into my mama's car, and I was probably about maybe 23 years old at the time. And I said, Mama, follow me on up there, and as soon as I park this truck, we're gonna leave out. So my mama pulled in behind me, and I parked that truck up against the fence. I jumped out, and I got my mom's car, and we left. So I got home. I said, look, I said, I got your bill of lading. If you want it, what are you willing to do? He says, well, we got our truck back safe. If you're willing to send in the bill of lading, we'll just call it a deal, and you can go on down the road, and we ain't worried about the theft charge. I was okay, we'll do that then. So I mailed them bill of ladings in. So don't ever let these big companies try to run you over and tell you that they're going to arrest you and all that. You're legal to go back to your home terminal. Wherever you leave out in the United States, you can always go back to that home terminal with the truck. So I always remember that, and I wanted the new guys, especially watching this here, to know that. And come back next week, I'm going to have a happier story for you instead of all these tragic stories I'm telling you. But I got another story about a load I hauled for North America. And this is you're really gonna find this load interesting. So come back next week. This is Truck Drivers Corner, and peace.